Welcome to this new Addon Spotlight. In this Addon Spotlight we're gonna look at a new fighter, the Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird. It's a long-range, high-altitude Mach 3+ strategic reconnaissance aircraft, developed and manufactured by the American aerospace company Lockheed Corporation. It was used both by the United States Air Force and by NASA. So it's the first release of this aircraft. It has been completely remodeled, but it still is under development. So keep in mind that although it says it's version 1.0, it still is in development. So if we look from the outside, right, we can see a lot of details. If we would look like this, right, so you can see a lot of details being added. You can see that the usage is there, so you can really see that the aircraft is being, say, used. On the back, two nice afterburners or engines. So let's go inside the aircraft. Inside the aircraft we will find the cockpit with several gouges which have been, I would say, updated, as you can see here. But there's still some work to do, right? This piece hasn't been touched, but the most important things like the throttle and all the gouges for, I would say, the airspeed, the RPMs, the altitude, and of course the compass have been modified. I do expect that the other altitude or other, I would say, gouges will be updated in a newer version. So let's see if we can find some buttons which are working. First of all, the throttle was working, right? So that's what we already figured out. Then we've got some other buttons here which you would indeed expect to be working, but they're not working, unfortunately. And the same thing is applicable to the right side. So there is some work to do. Same thing is for the buttons here. But again, it's version 1.0 and it still is under development. So to start the engines, you can simply press Ctrl and E. That should start the engines normally. So let's see what happens. Maybe look from the back. Don't see them yet, but you hear something is happening, right? So the engines are starting, and you can see the heat coming out of them on both of them. So their starting is in progress, which also results in that the say displays are now here. So it's the say the horizon, the artificial horizon, which shows the baro, right, the altimeter. And then here we've got the let's say Vision 3D, which displays it in front, right, which simply shows what's in front of us. And it has the option to show the map with the zooming options, as you can see. As well as the navigation things like, okay, hey, we set the flight plan, we can set the direct to, we can set the nearest, so nearest airport. Well, let's say that we're going to Ronald Reagan. Activate, and then when we're going back to the flight plan, you will see that the flight plan has been configured. On the bottom, we can see a few things, and one of the things I'm observing was, oh, it's already driving. So, oh, that crashed. Okay, restart. So you always need to keep in mind this with the, I would say, with new aircraft, right? Sometimes they're doing, say, weird things. So let's go inside the aircraft. Let's start the engines again. Let's make sure that the throttle is set to 0. Let me also close Airland FS. So if you're using Airland FS, it could cause, I would say, nasty things with these kind of aircrafts. Aircrafts or Airland FS is only used for helicopters, right, as you might know. So let's go to the outside again. Yep, engines are switching on. Then in a few minutes the displays will start to turn on, right? And we were here with configuring the flight plan. So let's do that again. We're almost there. Because you can see that these things do not work yet. You can then look at the outside, right? It's a kind of a cool aircraft. I think it's also in the Museum of Flight, right? Near Seattle. There's a museum where you can see one of them. It's a pretty impressive one. Guess it takes some more time before the engines are... It's expected both of them are running now. Displays are not working yet, so maybe that's an issue in this version. So let's simply do it without the displays. And let's see if we can take off, right? I can see that the steering is nasty, because this was just me steering, trying to taxi. So that will be a challenge if we even can't taxi with the aircraft. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do it a different way. Let's go back to the home menu and start on the runway, so that we don't have to taxi. So we're gonna use the same runway, and then we're gonna press fly. So it's loading, and then we're gonna try to take off, right?
Andrews Tower Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra ready for straight out departure at runway 19 right.
Engines are already running. As you can see, the displays are now working perfectly again. We were at this display, right? You can see the engine, you can see the speed, you can see the, or not the speed, the oil pressure, the oil temperature, and then the N2, and of course the gears. And here are the where are the flaps? No, this is the rudder. We don't have the flaps. I'm not sure if the aircraft even has flaps, right? So let's push forward the gear or the throttle. This from the back. You can see it goes crazy fast. So we need to let's say adjust it.
Andrews Tower Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra frequency change. Washington Center Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra is type 4 miles.
We're already at this is the camera view.
Request flight following. Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Washington Center. Squawk 7644.
Acknowledge it.
7644 X-ray Golf Sierra. X-ray Golf Sierra radar contact 8 miles southeast of Whiskey Tree to 9,000 feet. Altimeter 29.902.
So we can look at the left and right, and we can also go to the pilot or to the co-pilot, which is sitting at the back. You can see some, let's say, some things are being added here, like the flight plan and map. Not all the other things are not working yet, but it would be really cool if they would start working, right? So let me push down the aircraft a bit. Let me also look at the what the pilot did say. I'm gonna acknowledge the radar contact.
American Niner 78, you are 40 miles south. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect vectors.
I can see that we're going crazy hard. You can see that the I would say that the gouges are not working yet, right? So
and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect vectors ILS runway 1 approach American Niner 78.
it's also about the let's say this meter on this end. Right, it's acting a little bit weird. You would expect that this would be to be the speed. Maybe this. And the altitude you're seeing we're descending or descending crazy.
Roger, X-ray Golf Sierra.
So let's go outside the aircraft again.
X-ray Golf Sierra, contact Washington Center on 133.
Right, so you can see we're flying here. Still need to do the gears up. A normal aircraft would have already broken its gears. Right.
133.9 X-ray Golf Sierra.
So gears are no, you would expect them to be normally somewhere around here. But yes, I just mentioned the buttons are not working yet. So the aircraft itself flies, I would say, nicely. Taxiing, I'm not sure what went wrong because it failed 2 times, even after I would say making really small adjustments. So probably there's some work to do there. If you like jets, then it's probably one you want to give a try, right? It's a special one, as we just discussed. So yeah, overall I would say good version 1.0, but still some work to do, which I'm 100% sure that the developers are aware about because he made some notes about that. So that's good. Other things which I really like about it is, I would say, at least these are functioning, right? The artificial horizon, the map, and the display which contains the engine power. It would have been nice if the gauges would be working, but again, I hope that they will be fixed in the future. Another thing is that if you reset the view, right, you can see that or you can't see it, but I'm resetting the view now to default. It won't go back to the, I would say, to the pilot. In the meantime, we're already almost above 6,500 feet, so we're climbing like crazy. And we can see the US from the air. So this is where this video ends. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, then consider to use the like button. If you got questions or comments, then feel free to post them in the comment box below the video. And as always, you can find the download link for this aircraft in the description of this video. If you want to stay up to date about new videos I'm posting, then consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.